Yo, thought I'd come on here to get some thoughts off my chest, out of my mind. I'm ill at the moment, if you couldn't tell, and smack my nose. So that's a great start. However, what I wanted to come on here and talk about is the lies I believe that are told about the high ticket closing industry, in a sense. And if anything, I think this is just a fundamental problem with humankind when it comes to the pursuit of any job in and of itself. So, the way in which this space is marketed is you can work from anywhere in the world, you can work remotely, you can work from home, and you can make great money. And you don't have to work that hard, you don't have to work that much. And that just is not true. And what I've started to come to realize more and more is that this space, this industry, is the corporate world masked as if you have autonomy when you don't. So, of course, you can work from home, you can work remotely. However, all of these gurus and honestly, most people who get into the space immediately put their first foot onto the treadmill at max speed, and then they just have to keep sprinting to stay on. Because all you hear these gurus post and talk about is the only tangible metric they can really brag or show, and that is income. That is wealth. That is how much commissions they've made per month. And as soon as you start, you begin comparing, and other people compare others to the point where it's, are you not making $10,000 a month? Are you not making $20,000 a month? Then you're not working hard enough. You're not doing good enough. You should be doing better. Not even you could be doing better. And it doesn't take a rocket science to realize how toxic that can quickly become. And one of the biggest problems is this failure to acknowledge that at a certain point, developing your income and focusing solely on income as your pursuit in life will not bring you happiness. And for me personally, I remember why I got into this space. I think back, 2-3 years ago when I started as a personal trainer, telling myself, I don't want to have to stay living in my hometown, and I don't want to be stuck working out of this one gym, seeing the same faces every single day, having the same conversations, being around the same people in the same environment. That was my goal. That's it. My goal wasn't to buy Rolexes. My goal wasn't to buy supercars, drive a G-Wagon, flex in a Miami penthouse. I didn't care about that. And once you get onto that treadmill where you have this illusion that you're moving forward, you have this illusion that you are progressing towards something, towards a goal, towards a vision, you get the blinders put on you. And it takes some people 20, 30, 40 years until they realize this. And I think I may be one of the lucky ones who has been able to realize this quicker than usual. As the moment you take those blinders off and you look down, you realize you're on a treadmill. You're not actually moving forward. Okay, I'm making more money. Great. Has my lifestyle up to this point significantly changed? Not really. I'm currently in my own apartment. That's an upgrade. It's nice. I have designed my own office exactly how I want it. Great. The rest of my apartment, spot on. Great. My job, I get to work remotely. That's cool. I get to work from home. I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to stay in traffic. I don't have to rush to work. They're bonuses. However, am I significantly happier than I was a couple years ago? No, I'm not. And why is that? It's because your goals are never destinations, they are just horizons. So the moment you get to one, you reach the top of that peak, and then you realize there's a bigger peak. That was an illusion. That wasn't actually the peak. Oh, I've got so much further to climb, actually. Didn't know that. This is going to take a while. You get to that peak, guess what? There's another. And from being in this space, from being around and talking to people who are making way, way more money than me and anybody else I've known, do I look at them with envy? Do I look at them and think, wow, their life is amazing. I wish I had what they had? No, because I've had conversations with them and they are not significantly happier than I am. They're also on the same treadmill. We're in the same place, buddy. You might have a Lamborghini, but me and you are in the exact same place. Because there's two things you need to realize and define. Number one is when you think about your goals in your own life, are they your goals or are they somebody else's goals that you have decided to copy? Think back to when you were younger and what your true goals were. And now think about how your goals have changed. I don't feel like I was ever a very materialistic person that was obsessed with hitting a certain income target, living a certain lifestyle, being able to flex certain things. That was never me. However, recently, and it's a shame to admit, but I feel as though I have fallen into that trap where other people's idea of success has started to drip into my mind and make me think that's also the definition of success. Once someone has that, they are successful. Once I have that, therefore I will be successful. Other people will think I'm successful because I think they're successful. But you're basing everybody else's standards on your own. And the quicker you realize that nobody cares about you and your goals as much as yourself, the quicker you realize that nobody's going to care once you get to that level. If you post yourself in a flashy car on your social media that's worth a lot of money, people may look at it and say like, whoa, wow, have you seen what car he got? Oh, he must have done really well. Good on him. They've probably, or they've definitely forgotten within the next 30 minutes. So they've got bigger problems to deal with. They've got their own life to think about. And funnily enough, you are also going to forget that feeling that you had once you got the materialistic possession, the supercar in this example. As there's a difference between true happiness and joy. Joy is a temporary, fleeting moment that can be acquired from, drinking a great coffee in the morning, buying yourself a brand new watch. I'm sure, whoa, wow, I feel great. buying yourself a brand new car. This is awesome. Oh, I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Oh, look at this. But the problem with fleeting moments of joy is that they are then followed by pain, misery, apathetic feelings. As the issue is, moments of joy when you come up have to be followed by moments of you coming back down. So it is the exact same as a drug. Everybody knows if you take a drug, you have to come up and then you have to come down. Back to baseline, if not lower. And this is where things get convoluted. You buy yourself a supercar. Oh, wow, euphoric. You get to drive it for the first week, 2 weeks, maybe even the first month. Your Lamborghini, super cool, super loud, super fast. This is great. I feel like the man. First month's over. Okay. Now what? I actually don't feel as great as I did about it now. It's kind of just my car. And actually now, I'm starting to find things to complain about. Oh, I don't like how low it is. I can't really drive certain places. Oh, I'm always worried about parking it in certain areas. In fact, like I can't even drive certain places in that car. I've got to use my mate's car to get there because I don't want to have to leave it parked. Problems. Your brain immediately starts to go from joy to pain. And this is going to be the case throughout your life. That's the problem. So if you continue to try and find your happiness in external sources, you are never going to be happy. If I buy this car, then I'll feel accomplished and happy. If I go to this place, then I will be a happy person. The problem is, you need to be happy within yourself because nothing external is going to be able to provide you that. It's not. It could bring you joy, but that will be followed by pain. That will be followed by baseline. Even lower than baseline. Because you'll then fall into this trap of thinking, I thought this was going to make me happy. Now it hasn't. Now I'm actually panicking and feeling even worse than I did. And it's because you have not focused on yourself and what's within. And bringing this back around to the problem that I've been facing within this space, I am at a point now where all I'm hearing is people saying, if you want to be successful in this space, if you want to stay someone who's only making 5, 6, 7,000 a month, then do that. Do that if you want to stay at that level. But if you want to get to an actually good level of making 10,000, 20,000, then you've got to be the hardest worker. You've got to be dialing the phone all day. You've got to be taking 8 hours of sales calls back to back. You've got to be doing outreach. You've got to be doing this, and that. Work. What does that sound like? It's corporate. And then people are going to go, yeah, bro, but I'm just working hard now. I'm just working hard now so that I can have this future, and you're not going to have that. Okay. So you're ignoring the present. And you're choosing to focus on the imaginary future. There's the problem. Our brain will always try to avoid the present moment, the now, as it incessantly wants to live in either the future or the past. I am doing this now so that this can happen in the future. I am doing this now so that I can provide myself that vision. Or I want to do this now. Let me think back to what happened the last time I did something similar so I can envision how this is going to look. Once again, that's past to future. That's not now. Or because that happened last time, I'm actually not going to do this in case this happens. Past, future. If all you are doing is living your life day to day for a future, that future does not exist. That future does not exist. The only thing that exists is you existing in the now, in the present. And you hear the stories time and time and time again, but we never learn as humans. Oh, there was a guy I knew who was working his whole life really hard because he was going to retire at 50. Whoa, that's cool. Yeah, he was going to retire a millionaire at 50. So he put all this hustle in. He worked hard all week. He had one day off a week. He didn't spend time for himself because he had this grand plan to go travel in the world at 50 and see all of these amazing sights and drive the supercars and live in the penthouse and have this flashy life. He got to 48, he was about to retire, and then he died. Wow. Who's lived a better life? That 48-year-old who worked so hard and made an incredible amount of money, or the 28-year-old who went traveling when they were 23 and then for the last 5 years has been living on a beach, working at a bar, making loads of friends, going on adventures every single year, just making enough money to get by, but truly enjoying every moment. Who's lived a better life? Oh, but that's not a life because that's not a definition of success. By whose definition? Whose definition is the correct definition of success? You need to make more money so that you can serve society, bro. If you're just living to be happy and you're just living to do that, that's selfish. This is just your brain trying to reason justifications as to why you should sacrifice your life in the now. It doesn't give you any glory, any sanctification if you sacrifice your life for this greater, bigger purpose. All you are doing is choosing to not exist in the present moment and cherish life for what it is. And I believe I've been getting closer and closer to this point of contentment. However, the pursuit of contentment in and of itself will stop you from getting there. There's the problem. Because that's you setting a goal that you're never going to reach. You need to cut the pursuit. You need to just be present. Now, me sat in this chair. I can be happy now. You can be happy now. And no external validation, external resource, external level is going to provide you that. Even at the most primitive level. Think of this. There's two different people. There's a millionaire and there's a guy working as a street vendor in Southeast Asia. They're both waking up on the same day. The millionaire, who's used to making $20,000 a week, let's say, this week, there's been a problem with business. And he's made $12,000 this week. And he is fuming. He is down. He is stressed. He is anxious. Then there's a street vendor who makes $2 an hour, $2 a day. and then somebody goes and gives him $100 tip. Who is happier that day? The street vendor. Oh, this has made his day. This $100 has made his day. He goes on for the whole rest of the day with a big smile, greeting people. He's warm. He's thinking about going back to his family and saying, look what I got today. All of that day is great for him. And he's making nothing day to day. And then you look at the millionaire who's made $12,000 and he's miserable. Because no matter what level we get to, our baseline will rise with it. Your degree of normalcy always follows you like this annoying shadow, and you can never escape it. And once you acknowledge this, you realize that the pursuit of wealth, the pursuit of validation of others, the pursuit of this imaginary future, non-existent life is always going to be just that, a pursuit of you running on the spot, on a treadmill, getting nowhere. The moment you just carry on running and you say, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy the exercise. I'm just going to enjoy being here, putting one foot in front of the other. That's when you've made it. And it's a lot easier said than done. However, I hope that some of the things I've said here have landed with you. And please, especially anybody that's in this space or considering getting into a space similar to this, don't fall into the same trap as everybody else, glorifying these gurus, glorifying this hustle culture as if it's something great to aspire to. Oh, he's the hardest worker in the room. Oh, he does this, he does that. Oh, he makes this amount of money. Who cares? At the end of the day, we're all trying to reach happiness, no matter what we mask it as. That's what we strive for as human beings. And if somebody is at a different point in life, a different point in their own story, who's to say they're not more happy than you are? And that's that. So, as always, hope something in this video has been helpful. These are normally for myself also, so that I can get my thoughts out there and see if any gems get put out into the universe. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.